Hi guys, thank you so much for joining me. Today we're talking about the benefits of staying at an on-site Disney resort and an off-site Disney resort.
I'm Christina. I'm a traveler, a planner, and most importantly, a mom. I'm sharing my best tips to make traveling as a family a little less stressful. So put down your phone, pack your bags, and let's showcase the world.
So one of the things I get asked a lot is, should I stay on-site or should I stay off-site? So let me break down what that means. If you're staying on-site at Walt Disney World, it means you're staying at a Walt Disney World owned and operated resort located on Disney property. Now, Disney property is 40 square miles or the size of San Francisco. So it's pretty big. There are 27 on-site options. There are also a few options on Disney property that aren't owned by Disney, so we're going to call those off-site for now. There are Good Neighbor resorts, which are resorts that Disney partners with to offer some added benefits, but we're going to talk about off-site as one big lump sum of resorts that are not owned and operated by Disney, not located on Disney property, and they do not have those added benefits. So you used to make this decision based on cost alone. Do you stay on-site at Walt Disney World, stay in a luxurious hotel that is really expensive, or do you stay off-site and make it a little bit more budget friendly? Disney figured that out and they started building more and more hotels in every budget range. So there are 3 different categories of Disney resorts with different levels of amenities, and those I walk through in this video here. I'll link to it right there. And now you don't necessarily want to look at it based on cost, because there are all sorts of factors that go into it. If you're looking at room rates at a Disney resort and an off-site resort, it may seem that a Disney resort is a little bit more expensive, but there are all sorts of other factors that go into it, like resort fees, transportation, parking fees, and all of that. So make sure you're taking those into consideration when you're choosing and not just looking at the room rates. So why should you just choose to stay at a Disney resort? Well, there are so many benefits that Disney adds to get you to stay with them. One is their airport transportation. They will pick you up at the airport. They will send your luggage to your resort. You don't have to pick it up at the baggage carousel, and you can go straight to the parks. They'll do the same thing when you go back, and they'll even check your bags so you can save that step at the airport. You don't have resort fees at a Disney resort. There are parking fees, but they do not charge a resort fee, which a lot of resorts charge for internet, housekeeping, all of those things that go into maintaining a resort. Disney builds it into the room rate, which is why their room rate is a little bit higher, and other resorts charge that fee. Another added benefit of staying at a Disney resort is transportation. There are buses, boats, monorails, and now a Skyliner that can get you from your hotel to the theme parks. Depending on what hotel you're staying at is what you have for transportation options, but you don't have to worry about shuttles. When you're staying off-site, they offer shuttles. Sometimes they're free, sometimes they're not, but all of the time they are inconvenient. They are not going to get you there before the park opens. They are not going to have flexible time to leave when your family is tired. They have a few pickup times. They do not come every 20 minutes like the Disney buses do. The biggest added benefit, I think, to staying at a Disney resort is the time savings. How much is your time worth? Is it worth the $20 a night to savings to stand and wait in lines? Not for me, it's not. So this is the biggest benefit, I think, is the extra magic hours, which are only for resort guests. And those extra magic hours are an hour either in the morning or a few hours in the evening, where you get to get into the park before anyone else. You have early dining. You can make your dining reservations for your entire trip 180 days in advance. If you're staying off-site, you can make it 180 days from the day you're making the reservation. So that means you have to make them every single day of your trip. You can't make them all at once. And fast pass booking. You get an additional 30 days before anyone off-site can make their fast pass reservations if you're staying on site. So if you're staying on site, you can make them 60 days in advance. If you're staying off, you have to wait until 30 days in advance. That is a huge, huge time saver and a huge benefit. So why should you stay off-site? There are tons of hotels off-site. Obviously, there must be a reason. Well, one of the reasons is loyalty programs. If you travel a lot for work and you have Marriott Bonvoy points or Hilton Honors or whatever it might be, and you have free nights, why not bring the family to Disney World for free, right? That one's an easy one. You can stay at any sort of resort where you have loyalty programs. Every single chain is down there. Another reason to stay offsite is if you're planning on exploring the Orlando area. If you're going to SeaWorld or Busch Gardens in Tampa, or you're going to Universal or Legoland, or you just want to check out downtown Orlando. I love Point Orlando. They have some great restaurants there. If you want to get off of Disney property and explore the area, definitely consider staying at an off-site resort. You're going to need a rental car to see those places anyway, and that takes out a lot of the transportation added costs that we were talking about. You can also get some sort of off-site cost savings, and that would be if with a continental breakfast, or if you are if you want to go to McDonald's instead of a quick service, or Chili's or Applebee's or any of those chain restaurants are going to be a little less expensive than eating on Disney property. If you have a rental car, you can also stop at a grocery store. I get my groceries delivered when I stay on property. I'll link to that video here as well. But that's a way you can save. The number one reason I would say to stay off-site is if you have a large family. Disney has some great accommodations for large families, but they're all at the deluxe resorts, and they're all going to be really expensive. So if you have a large family and you need a villa-style resort, then you want to look at the off-site options. Two of my favorites are the Sheraton Vasana Villages and the Wyndham Villas in Bonnet Creek. So great options there, large family, tons of savings. If you're not a large family, you're just looking for a standard room, make sure you're taking those fees into account before making that decision. Do not look at the rack rate alone. There are some great off-site options. Swan and Dolphin is technically located on-site, but it's considered off-site. Remember that really convoluted definition at the beginning. They have added transportation benefits because you can walk to the resorts and you can use the Disney buses. You have the extra magic hour benefits and the 60-day fast pass booking. You cannot add the Disney dining plan at the Swan and Dolphin, and you cannot use the Magical Express. But other than that, it's basically like staying on Disney at a Disney resort, except for the price. You're going to pay a value or moderate level price for deluxe accommodations. So if you want those deluxe accommodations and it's not really in your budget, look at the Swan and Dolphin. Disney Springs has 7 resorts. Their benefit is that you can walk to Disney Springs. They all have shuttles. Again, the shuttles are not great. Do not use the shuttles. Not worth the headache. But you can walk over to Disney Springs and use the buses there. One thing to note is they don't go directly to the theme parks. This parking at Disney Springs is free, whereas parking at the theme parks does cost money, so they do not want people parking at Disney Springs and then taking the bus. But you can take the bus to, say you're going to Epcot, you can take the bus to the beach club and then walk to Epcot. Or you can take the bus to the Contemporary Resort and take the monorail over. So there's added transportation benefits at those 7 resorts. There's 2 Hiltons, a Holiday Inn, a Wyndham Garden, and a boutique resort called the Bee. Bonnet Creek is also fantastic because they are located as close to property as you can get. They're like right off the line, but they're basically on property. That's where the Wyndham is that I was talking about. There's a Hilton there, and there's also the Waldorf, which is a beautiful, beautiful resort. 5 diamond accommodations at a much more affordable budget than you would get for the same rooms on site. The Hyatt Grand Cypress is my favorite if you are looking for a pool vacation. If you're looking for just time at the pool, maybe you're going to the parks 1 or 2 days, the Hyatt Grand Cypress has incredible, incredible pool, and also the best fish tacos I've ever eaten, and that includes from many places in Southern California. I go to the Hyatt just to get their fish tacos sometimes. You have Gaylord Palms, which is an attraction in and of itself. It's the same owner-operators as the Opryland Hotel in Nashville. And it's just, you walk in there and it's like you've been transported someplace else. Especially a great one at Christmas time where they do a indoor extravaganza is the best way to describe it, made with all sorts of things made out of ice, including luges and ice bars and sculptures, and it has a theme and it's really incredible. So check out Gaylord Palms. Other option is home rentals. If you are traveling with a large family and you want the added benefit of a full kitchen and separate spaces and maybe your own pool, you might want to look into a home rental. So again, when you're looking at pricing, just don't look at the rack rate. Many travel advisors will help you navigate this, myself included. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to email me. My information is in the description below, and I hope that I have inspired you to explore the world together. Thanks.
Need help planning your next family vacation? Visit us at showcasetheworld.com to request a quote or schedule a free vacation consultation. Want more great travel tips? You'll find those there too.